In the Daily Telegraph today, more evidence of how people are falling behind on their bills. The paper says more than 750,000 households are at risk of defaulting on their mortgages over the next 2 years. The Financial Conduct Authority said that more than 200,000 households had already fallen behind on their payments by the end of last June, and things have changed since last June, and not for the better, some might say. Joining us now is Sally Mitchell, mortgage expert and broker from The Mortgage Mum. Sally, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Sally, welcome to the programme. Look,
Thank you.
How do you interpret these figures that we're looking at today from the Telegraph?
Well, it's scary, isn't it? You read that and you think, oh my goodness, what more can life throw at us? It is a real risk, but I do want to stress it's risk. It's not necessarily going to happen. This is their projection of worst case scenario. And the equation that they've used to look at it and to get these figures is that they consider you to be at risk of shortfall if your mortgage payment is 30% of your household income. Now, on the face of it, that doesn't sound like a great deal. But when you factor in people's other credit commitments, car finance, credit cards, loans, other loans, it's very, very easy to tip over that 30%.
Yeah, you can see. Oh, obviously, because as well, everything is going up. Things like if you want a loan or a credit card in particular, those credit rates, interest rates are extortionate.
Yeah, it affects everything.
So could these figures be? These are the worst case scenarios, you say, but that's why they're so stark. Could they be the tip of the iceberg? Is there something happening here across society where people who might normally not have been in a financial difficulty are suddenly finding themselves worrying about the bills?
Yes, I think that's absolutely right. A lot of clients come to us and they are shocked, when they look at remortgaging and when they're coming to the end of their fix, for example, they are absolutely shocked that the rates they're now looking at are 2 or 3 times sometimes what they've been paying over the last few years. And unfortunately, we are creatures of habit. We like goldfish. We sort of, grow to the size of our tank. So if you're used to having a certain amount of disposable income, you live up to that disposable income. And so when it suddenly becomes more expensive to manage your mortgage, you tend to find that you don't have the spare.
And look, everyone's situation is different, but as a society, Sally, there are more ways of spending our money. If we look back perhaps to our parents or our grandparents, these are our parents' generation, didn't have mobile phones, maybe one car in the family, maybe just one holiday a year. There were fewer excesses to spend our money on. We've become, you could say, more relaxed.
We're super consumers, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, and that's where whatever people are earning, at the end of the day, you tot it all up. And if it's happening in the mortgage market, it's probably happening in the rental market as well.
Yes, it is. And I think that for anybody looking at doing a remortgage or coming to the end of their fix in the next year, and that's 1.4 million, I think, this year are coming to the end, there is a lot you can do. Plan ahead. I know it's boring, but do start to look at your situation 6 months before the rate comes to an end. Go to a reputable mortgage broker. Recommendations are always the best way in my mind. Look at any savings you might have. Look at perhaps stretching the term of your mortgage so your monthly payments come down a little bit. Sometimes it pays to look at different types of mortgages. No, don't go for a fix. Go for a tracker because they're discounted at the moment and you can get out of them quite easily if you want to. And then perhaps look at interest only, which we don't normally recommend. But in these times, you've got to look at every single option.
I mean, nothing stays the same forever, but the current situation in the housing market has really hit a lot of people firmly in the face. Big time.
It really has. It really has.
Sally, if people are falling behind on their mortgage payments, what should they do?
That really is a last resort. I know it's easier said than done, but please, please, please do everything you can not to fall behind. If you think you're at risk, get in touch with your lender, your bank or building society, and they do have very good departments fully trained to help you through this. I think the major banks have actually had a meeting with the Chancellor last month and have discussed sort of crisis era levels of help that they can put forward, maybe offering to existing customers a competitive fixed rate option, or perhaps swapping them onto an interest only in the short term to help things.
Right.
There is help there, but it's something that can't be ignored. Please don't put your head in the sand and just think it'll be all right. You've got to plan.
Sally, on the wider picture, I mean, the number the Telegraph is reporting, which is a worst case scenario, but if we have more than 750,000 households at risk of defaulting, I mean, perilous state of affairs, what could that do to the housing market in general?
Well, the housing market is having its own issues at the moment. It could actually encourage people to downsize, to move out of area, to save money and purchase a cheaper property to release some equity, which means, of course, that there will be more property on the market. And if there's more property on the market, then it should be buoyed up. At the moment, we are seeing a little bit of a drop. And the papers do like to report the potential crash of the property market.
Yeah,
but we have to remember it's only back down to what it was at the beginning of last year. So it's not that bad. And it's robust. Our property market is really strong in general, and it will bounce back.
Sally, thank you for joining us. Wish you well. Sally Mitchell, mortgage expert and broker from the Mortgage Mum, whether it's a mortgage or rent. I just hope everyone keeps paying it, and you can afford to keep paying it. Otherwise, it becomes really difficult, doesn't it?